Everyone, Dr. Jamie Ball here, and today I wanted to discuss with you how to select a dissertation topic. We all know that selecting that topic at first can be overwhelming and kind of daunting, so I wanted to give you some ideas today to help you sort of narrow it down and help you pick out what you're going to spend all your time writing about. So the first thing that you need to consider is, does your topic relate to your degree program? It has to relate somehow. Otherwise, one or the other is meaningless to you. Something else that you should also consider is your dissertation is kind of like your business card. Whatever it is you do, that's your first research, and that's what you're going out in the real world and saying, here's my card. Here's my first research as a doctor. Something else you might want to consider is, are there pre-selected topics? Your advisor or committee should be able to give you that information. And you also are going to want to discuss with your advisor and your mentor some of the ideas that you might have. Your work needs to be interesting not just to you, but to your advisor. And finally, your work on a dissertation needs to be original work. It needs to be something that nobody else has done, and we'll discuss that more in depth a little later on. So some of the initial considerations is it interesting to you? It needs to be interesting to you and to your advisor. Now, if you have something you're really interested in, you might have to sell the idea to your advisor. But you also need to make sure it's not something that you have an overly whelming, strong opinion on. So you don't want to be too biased, because the point of the research is to get a clear answer. Your research needs to be relevant and or current. And by that I mean, does it matter now? Or is it relevant to people today? And it also needs to be accessible. And what I mean by accessible is, can you access the literature you need to be able to conduct your research? Will you be able to get access to the data that you need? How are you going to find those things? So those are things that you'll consider when you're narrowing down your topic. But if you want to write about advancements in space science, is that information classified? So can you access it? And then you're going to want to consider the practical applications of your research. Is this a worthwhile study? If it's not a worthwhile study, if it's not anything anyone's going to care about, your committee is not going to approve it. And does it contribute toward the existing knowledge base? It doesn't have to agree with the existing knowledge base, but does it contribute something new or something interesting or support or refute other theories? But it needs to be practical. Don't study something that only a small group of people or no one's going to care about. And then finally, is your topic manageable? Is it too big? Is it a longitudinal study? Is it going to take too long? Is it expensive? Those are all things that you need to consider. The best dissertation is a done dissertation. Now, your dissertation needs to be original work. Now, this, once you select a topic, is determined by the literature review. So before you can say exactly what your dissertation topic is going to be about, you will go through and conduct your literature review, and you're going to look for a gap in the literature. So maybe you're interested in studying bullying in school. Well, bullying's been studied a lot, but that doesn't mean there's not more room for more research. So maybe after conducting a literary review, you can find that, well, you know what, grade level differences in a certain type of student hasn't been studied. Or maybe so-and-so recommends that you do a qualitative research on this group of teachers over why they prefer this form of bullying intervention to that form of bullying intervention. So you have to find that gap in the literature. And then you're going to need to consider your research method. Now, your research questions drive your research method, but a lot of times students are attracted to certain types of studies. So we have quantitative studies and qualitative studies. Quantitative usually tests a hypothesis. They're very, very specific, detailed questions. Qualitative, on the other hand, has a topic and conducts its study and then looks for themes and patterns in the data. And then there's mixed methods, which does a little bit of both. And that's starting to get a little bit big there. I do not recommend a mixed method study for a dissertation. That's a lot of data. There's exploratory studies. I don't recommend those for a dissertation either, but if you think about it, the first study that was ever conducted on Facebook when Facebook was brand new was conducted by Harvard. And it was exploratory because Facebook was a completely new animal. And then you can also do replication studies if these are allowed by your university. You need to check. Some allow them, some don't. But maybe you're interested in studying the development of empathy and nurturing in children. Well, if you go back 20 years and you look at Eisenberg's work, you're going to find that she was always researching how the mother contributed to empathy development in children. Well, maybe the mother is no more or less relevant today than the father is because times are changing. We've got many stay-at-home dads. So because of changing times, you might want to repeat a study because you expect a new pattern or new results to emerge because times change. And then finally, when it comes down to your ideas, the first thing you're going to want to do is brainstorm your ideas. They don't have to be just your ideas. You can get committee members, faculty, family, friends, coworkers, all to help you brainstorm ideas. I would write these ideas down and journal them. That way, when you're ready to determine what topic you want to research and go with, you can examine each of these ideas for feasibility and weigh the pros and the cons. Then you're going to want to discuss your idea with your advisor because you might have to sell your idea to your advisor, or they may not think that it's worthy. And if it's not worthy, don't pursue it. Okay. And then finally, you're going to want to narrow your topic, which is done from the literature review, and simplify that topic. So you know this is the one focus of my dissertation that I'm studying. So if you like what you see, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. And I also have a Facebook page where you can find other videos and tips and things to help you with your dissertation. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.